friends, welcome to my classroom. In today's video, we're going to be doing a classroom tour of my new classroom at my brand new school, so get excited. For those who don't know me, the name's Rainy. I am an elementary music teacher and a middle school musical theater teacher in Central Florida, and I have been teaching. This is my 7th year teaching, my first year at a brand new school. And I like to help elementary and now middle school music teachers help instill a love and appreciation of music into the heart of every child. And so I provide all sorts of tips, tricks, my lesson plan ideas, and all different sorts of things so that you can be the best music teacher you can possibly be. And so today I'm just going to be taking you around my classroom, kind of showing you how I set up. I had to set up interestingly, which I'll explain in a minute. I'm not completely done with decorating, but it's pretty good so far. And I mean, I'm on week 4 of school, so like I need to kick it in gear with the decorating. But let's get started. Let's first talk about what I mean when I say I had to set up interestingly. So I'm about to show you in a second, but there are 3 garages in my, so this room used to be an old youth group auditorium because this used to be where the church was, like the same like school, like their church. And so this used to be the youth group room. So there used to be a sound booth in here for like worship nights and things. So they got rid of that, thank goodness. So they didn't put the carpeting down yet for that area. And then there's 3 garages in here, a yellow, a red, and a blue, and in one of them used to be a bunch of old youth group stuff. One was the music one, but it had so much stuff that like old books from like the 80s that I was like, those have got to go. And then there was just a random like props and decorations one. And so I only got one of those closets. And so we fixed one and turned it into a band closet. We turned one into a drama closet and then one into my closet. And it's like my closet slash office at the same time slash storage area. So like, I didn't think all my stuff was gonna fit from 6 years of teaching, and it did like by this much. So let's just show you real quick what I'm talking about. These are the 3 garage doors. That one has drama stuff in it. This one is mine, which we're gonna go all up in there in just a minute. And then this one is the band one. So this is what I came into. There was so much stuff in this one before I did all that, that it was like a hot mess express. But we're gonna get there in just a second. I figured we'd start with the front of the classroom and just make our way from there. It's a really nice space though. I also have a co-teacher in here. My Bible study leader happens to be my co-teacher, so that's really awesome. And we co-teach together for musical theater, but she has one extra class that she teaches without me, a 9th grade class. And so if you see some stuff on my walls, like over here says drama, it's because of that. So over here, I didn't have room for the boomwhackers or my nice like demonstration xylophone anywhere else. So my friend gave this to me from her daughter because she didn't want it anymore a couple years ago. And so I used that as my demonstrating xylophone. And then over here, I got this from Miss Wonderly's music room, like her idea like a couple years ago. It's supposed to say more than just squad, like squad goals, but obviously I didn't have space for that. And so it's just a bunch of composers and musicians, all types. Like we have Duke Ellington up there, Mozart, Bach, you know, all different types of people. So the kids always ask if those are presidents. I don't know why they think I would have presidents in here. Who knows? And I have giant windows at my school. That's not fun for kindergarten because they get distracted staring out the window. But I have a turn-in bin. That is for elementary, but also for middle school musical theater because they do a bell ringer question every day, which I'll show that in a minute. But that's like the turn-in bin for that. And then I have my nice little tempo blocks that normally just hang out over here because I use them a lot for like steady beat demonstrations. And then I have my lovely bookshelf with all of my composers. My art teacher at my first school bought me these at a yard sale, and I've kept them ever since because they're fabulous. I have the ocean drum behind it and all of my books. I used to have my books organized by like categories, and I have not done that here. I've just been lazy. But I have all sorts of books. I use books all the time in my lessons, like all the time. And so I have a very active bookshelf. And then up here, I put my Elements of Music posters just so that I have these to reference if need. And then, yeah, I really like these ones. I think I got these from the Hipster Music Teacher. I'll link everything down below. And we have a projector, but the projector is not working right now because we need a remote for it. So I have this TV instead, and I can plug my computer into it with this port right here. And then, yeah, and then I can just use the TV. But here's my nice fancy chair to sit in for like story time and things. And then I have just my random prop bucket, which basically I put anything I need for it in the day. I have a headset that I need to start using, so I'm gonna try and use that today. And then these 2 puppets I was using this week. That's why they're in there. But I have all my pointers down here. I have tons and tons of pointers because I love these pointers. And then this is just my extra miscellaneous stuff, like this giant pencil spinner, my sand glass, hourglass. It got broken last year by my students, so I only have the hourglass left. And then it says the word music behind there. I need to move where it is because that's one of my like behavior things. So like if the class is not behaving as a whole, I take a letter away, and if they can't spell music by the end, they don't get their points for the day. And if they get a certain amount of points by the end of each quarter, like they get a reward. And so I need to move the placement of that. I just don't really know where else to put it at the moment. Then we have this nice table, which we're trying to get a smaller table. The table used to sit over here, and I didn't like that, so now it's over here. And this is kind of like the musical theater / like stuff I need right away table. And so like I have my ukulele because I use it all the time. Oh, I left my water here over the weekend. I have my slide whistle, which we've been using for pitch exploration for warm up. I have this pretend microphone. I have my breathing sphere, so I use this for my warm ups. I explain this in full depth in my warm up video, so I will link that down below. But basically anytime you open it, they have to breathe in, and then when you close it, they have to go shh. So I love that. I have rhythm sticks because I'm using those in a lesson. I have hand sanitizer. This is my musical theater teacher's jug of water so that she doesn't have to refill. I have my Musicians Move posters, which I got from Music and Motivate. I'm doing that lesson this week. The kids have been loving it. This is our musical theater clipboard drawer. So the way that kids have seats in here, we have numbers on all of the clipboards, and they have a specific number. And we'll have on this table, if there's any papers they need to collect, then they'll just pick them all up, and their clipboard will be on their chair already. We did that because we have a group of kids, the 8th grade group, I love them to pieces, but they're a little bit harder than others. So like they have assigned seatings. And so because of that, we just assigned the kids the other seating, like just like that. But this is where their clipboards go at the end of the day because they were just making a giant mess all over this table, and I was not about that. So we fixed that. And then this is like our grading / like exit ticket drawer. So up here is exit tickets and stop signs. So with the exit ticket, they each get one on their clipboard already when they come. And if they have it at the end, this is just for musical theater. If they have it at the end, they get a piece of candy at the end. And if they don't, they lose it because of a stop sign, we give them this. So if they're doing bad behavior, we give them a stop sign that says, please stop what you're doing and make a better choice. And they have to give back our exit ticket. If they get a second stop sign, then this is like their last choice. And then if they get a third stop sign, they have to go and sit in the back and copy a soliloquy piece by piece. So that's not exciting. And then yeah, this is just grades and grades. So that's like our grading bin. And then this is just stuff I didn't organize because I got tired on Friday, quite honestly. And then yeah, this is stuff that we're doing in class. Like we're working on a fairy tale tableau and like all of that sort of stuff. And then I have my puppet bucket underneath. I have a crap ton of puppets. I didn't have enough room to fit them all on my puppet tree. I got that idea from David Rao. My husband made this puppet tree stand. It's a little, not, what's the word I would like to say? It's not as stable as I would like it to be. That's why I don't have a lot of puppets on there. And then we have our keyboard. So, you know, for musical keyboard things. And I do sit spots for my classroom. So the sit spots are, I actually really like them. They work out really well. And so each of my kids has a specific spot. Now the classes are small enough that they basically sit in like the first 2 or 3 rows, and that's about it. But I like this so that I could do like turn to your partner. I could do work in a group. And then I have colored buckets that match each sit spot. And so I'll go over that in just a sec. The chairs are all over here because we use this for musical theater class. The only problem is that my musical theater kids at the end of the day do not do a very good job stacking them like this. So I need to really work on the process for that. Then over here, so I bought all of the bookshelves that you see because we didn't have enough storage. This is mostly my instruments that I own. So the school didn't really have a lot of like their own instruments, so I ordered a bunch and they're on their way. But this is basically mostly my stuff for the most part that I've bought or like wish listed off of Amazon. And so I've been using a lot of it for different activities. I don't really do instruments until about a month in, especially at a new school, because I want to make sure I trust the kids. I want to make sure that like they know my expectations in here. And so I like to do that before I actually do instruments. And then that is just the band instrument. I also have my schedule laminated so that every day I can just change what it is so I can actually see my schedule. The reason I have to have my schedule down, and I also turned it into my cover on my phone, which I'll show in a minute, is because the way they do it here is very different. Like the the kids have the same special at the same time. So like, you know, like art, music, all that stuff, but they could have it more than once in a day because K through 2, I see twice a week. And sometimes it works out that they have it the same day. Like on Tuesdays, it's really funny. I have one second grade class, and then a half an hour later, I have another second grade class. It's like they had 2 sets of specials. And so like that just blows my mind. It's weird when it's like I start a day with one grade level and I see that same grade level again. It's very different, and the times are never the same. Like one time class will start at 8:30, but another time class will start at 9:30, and then it's just like very hot mess express. And so I needed that for my sanity. And this is my, like, I don't know what to call it, like prop drawer, I guess. Like we have our charger, like which right now the TV was not working for sound for the longest time. So the Banders let me borrow his Bose speaker and also his Alexa. And so I've been using that. This is actually pretty loud. It does a pretty good job, so I like that. But in these bins, I have my parachute is in here. I have the stretchy bands in here. Also all of my dancing scarves and bandanas. And then this is just like a bulletin board bin because honestly, like I said, I don't have a lot of storage. Now it's time to tackle this bad boy. So I have all my horses behind there, like pool noodle horses. We use these for like different activities, which I also use them for Halloween, and I'm not allowed to teach Halloween here, obviously. And so I'm having to adjust on how to figure out how to do that because Halloween's my favorite time in the music room. Okay, and then I love this rainbow drawer. I got these things off Teachers Pay Teachers, and so I organized it with like kinder and first, second and third, fourth and fifth, like any materials I need for them. Musical theater, lesson plans, sub plans, to be filed, to be graded, to do, extra materials. And so that's what I have for that. And I have 2 of my recorders on top and my hole punch and my stapler just because I use that a lot. These are xylophones. Well, actually they're metallophones. And they're chromatic metallophones. They're like the ones, the one that you saw up front. The music teacher before, I guess, ordered these. I'm currently in the process of ordering Orff instruments, but that is pricey. So we're using these for now. So what I've discovered is I'm just gonna cover up the chromatics like with a fabric or have the kids do that when they're playing. So that's not even a factor because I'm not using chromatics right now. Up there, those are all buckets and buckets of like past Christmas musicals and things, except for that bucket is a Pirates musical, the first musical that I did at my school. And so yeah, those are all musicals that I haven't sifted through yet because I just haven't had motivation, if I'm being honest. And then those are my kid stick buckets, which I use for kid sticks with Artie Almeida. If you've never seen that, kid sticks are awesome. I also have just been using them for different props. Like this is another Artie Almeida activity, one that I'm actually doing today called Cat Opera. And so like you turn on the actual cat opera song, yeah, and they get to like act it out with like the music. And so that's actually super, super cute. But I use those sticks for kid sticks. And then up there I have candy canes and brooms. I use those as horse riding props for like the Wild Horseman and also some more Artie Almeida stuff. If you don't know Artie Almeida, she's pretty fabulous. She does a lot of music teacher lessons, and I love her a lot. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna actually get to use the brooms this year, unfortunately. This next bin is like instruments that didn't fit, like my log drum, my sound shapes. These are for the kid sticks. They're cutting boards. You use them as drum pads for the floor. This nice little pencil prop. And then these scrapbook bins are the best things since sliced bread. Let me just tell you, I have so many of them and I use them all the time. So this one is just random extra decor that I haven't put up yet. This one is like a fall and like random props one. So I'll show you real quick. I used to have them all organized and like labeled. I need to do that. But this has like my leaves, this has my spiders, so there's a spider on the floor. These are my turkey gobblers. They make the sound of a turkey. I have my dice to use for dice rolling games. This is for a swat the fly rhythm activity. And then this is for doggy doggy where's your bone? And it actually smells like bacon and it's really funny. And then these are my manipulative folders, and I use these for basically mini erasers of all different holidays and seasons. I use mini erasers for what is it, solfege and like melodic lines, and when they're doing like, you know, have to do patterns on like pieces of paper with a staff. I use them for that especially. And then this is just a bunch of other stuff. Like I have a bunch of markers and things in here. I have tape in another one. This one has all my seasonal activities like St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day. These ones, I used to have one for each grade level so that if I had materials, I could just stick them in there. But now that I have this, I'm gonna stick with that because that way I can use this for other storage because like I said, my storage is like very minimal. And then these are the colored bins. Right now there's stuff in them because I haven't been doing like classroom activities yet, and I still have to organize, like, I bought that Velcro so I can make a circle out there, and like I have all that stuff. But anyway, basically these colorful bins, which the yellow one is on that table, they match the sip spots. And so I'm gonna have pencils in there and like other stuff. And so any materials that they need, like if they're doing a project, I can have the team leader, which the team leader is the person that sits at the front of the room. They can go back over here and basically grab their bin and then go bring it to their class. So that's why I have the colorful bins. Last year, or the last couple of years, that's worked really well at my old school. So that I'm hoping that'll stay the same for here. And then I just have a bunch of folders here. This is, or book binder covers. These are basically all of my professional development books. I fit as many as I could here. These are like things that I've worked on before, and then that's just like sub plans and like other stuff. And then I just have a bunch of like, you know, materials up there. And then up there is more music teacher stuff. This is my nice little book bin thing, and that's my name in sign language. My mom bought that for me years ago. I want to change out the chevron because I'm just not about the chevron anymore, so that's gonna happen at some point. And then I just have a bunch of decor from over the years, including like what my mom made me, and then me and my husband and my dog. I need one of my son. I don't know why I don't have one up already, quite honestly. And then I just have a bunch of whiteboards and mini erasers in this bucket right here. And then down here is just like, that's a Dulcimer. I have no room for it. That's a phone that doesn't work because we don't use office phones anymore. An amp. That uses only old iPads though, so it's not really helpful. Those are wind chimes. And then I have more buckets because like I said, storage is minimal. This is like an area I haven't really cleaned yet. And then this is all just stuff that I don't need at the moment so that I don't have to worry about digging into it. And so that's basically my classroom as of right now. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff on the way. I ordered Orff instruments so that I can actually start using those in class because I would rather use Orff instruments than those chromatic xylophones. Like, I just feel like that's a lot of work. I have some other instruments on the way. I have a couple of books on the way. I got a pretty nice budget, so that was great. So I'm just trying to figure all of that out. But other than that, that's basically how my classroom works. I do always have the agenda on the board so that the kids are able to know what we're doing for the day. The kids really like that. And the other day, my musical theater kids saw that and went, why do we not get that? And so I'm gonna have to start doing that for them because they just do a bell ringer and then like we move on from there. But anyway, I have the agenda on the board for them. We come in, K through 2 always comes in dancing to music and copying me for steady beat. 3 through 5 just comes in and goes straight to their seat. We do our warm-up, which I have my whole warm-up video process in another video, so I'll link that down below. And then we always start with a movement activity of some sort, and then we focus on a familiar song, and then we learn a new song, and we work on the concept for the day. And so like right now across the board with all of them, I'm basically just doing steady beat / like review, which I learned that a lot of my older kids know how to read music, like because a lot of them play piano, and also that apparently she focused heavily on recorder in here, so that's kind of awesome. So like they actually, but it's funny, they know like the names of quarter notes and things. They just don't know how to read it like ta ta ti ti ta. Like they just clap it. So like I'm having to teach that, and they're staring at me like it's very, very foreign. But yeah, it was actually nice that like they know how to read stuff, and like I don't have to, you know, worry about that. So these are my agenda slides that I'm talking about. So I made these. This is my fall themed one, which you can actually buy this entire set in my TPT shop. I have 16 different backgrounds for you, and they come with the editable headers and not. But this is mine. I have a learning goal, so for example, for 5th grade, which I don't know how much they know, so this is just the one that I put. I can identify the difference between pitched and unpitched instruments, the question of the day, how can you tell if an instrument is pitched versus unpitched, and then the agenda. So we're doing this fun folk dance, the Meratique. We're doing this book, this hoop groups activity by Artie Almeida called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. And then we're doing a fun game called Musicians Move, which I got from Music and Motivate, so I'll link to her down under. But these agenda slides are really helpful. They stop my kids from saying, what are we doing in music today? Because honestly, I hate when they do that. So why not make a slide for them instead, you know? Did I mention that like I am extremely lucky with the location of like my classroom? So what I mean by that is I just go downstairs to open the door to like let the kids come up. But right down the stairs for me is like, well, first the auditorium, so that's super nice, and there's a cut through to the office, so I don't have to go outside. But there's a collaboratory downstairs, and the collab is basically a cafe that they have frappuccinos and like smoothies and like spicy chicken sandwiches and snacks and drinks and all these things that like we get and the kids get to have as well. So whenever my lunch break is, I'm always able to beat everybody down there because I'm right up here, and so I just go downstairs, get a smoothie or something, and then head back to my classroom. So that is super, super awesome. I'm kind of like I don't know, spoiled in that sense. Like, they also get stuff catered to them every week, like Chick-fil-A, Moe's, things like that. And the parents or teachers can order that too. So, like, I think Moe's is on Friday, and I'm very excited for that. But anyway, yeah, this is my classroom. That's not so much my classroom, but I'm really excited to get to finish working on it and just make it a little bit better. I obviously want to put like my music rules up on the board, and I still need to make a Velcro circle. I just haven't had time to make that yet. I just have a couple other things that I need to get like up and moving. So I'm going to continue to organize, and once I finish that, maybe I'll also add that at a later video. But I hope this video was helpful, so you get to see like how I set up in a small space. Like, the room itself is not small, but just like the storage space. And then yeah, and then we'll be back at you next week with some new videos, more about my lessons and what I'm actually doing for music class. But for now, like, subscribe, and share if you like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!